So let's start the beginning of the week in our Transformer world with a little bit of drama, and then we'll kind of move upward to much more positive news. But we're going to start first with the drama. So Walmart Collector Con revealed a whole bunch of different Transformer product, and we have even more that will be dropping pre-orders on October 17th on the Transformer Thursday this week. But one item that they put out that some people were anticipating was a Super 7 Transformers Reaction The Arc playset. And we didn't know what it was going to look like or how much it was going to cost, but I had a feeling, judging by how Super 7 has priced a lot of their stuff, it was going to be probably on the higher side. Well, we got the reveal, and we saw how it looked, and a lot of people were really angry and dramatic about it and calling out Super 7 and saying that they make crappy product. And, you know, I've always been someone that praises Super 7 for a lot of cool stuff, fan wanky stuff, giving us items that honestly no companies would have ever given us. But a lot of people aren't aware of what Super 7's like mission statement is with a lot of their products that they do. I'm not defending their prices. I still think, and I will stand by it, a lot of Super 7's products are very expensive and overpriced. But that goes into a whole deeper discussion of small companies, products, how much you could put out, you know, distribution. They don't really have that much of that. So, but that's a whole other conversation. But when it comes to the reaction line itself and what this ARC playset is trying to achieve, people have to remember what the whole mission statement of the reaction line was, which, I mean, it goes all the way back 11 years ago. You know, back in, I think it was like San Diego Comic-Con 2013, I think it was. You know, they released and revealed their first reaction stuff, and it was really them going like, hey, we want to make action figures that could play in the same space as your Kenner 1979 Star Wars stuff. 5 points of articulation, simplistic, you know, design and coloring. For all those people that grew up on those Kenner toys, to have more toys of all other brands that could play along with that. And at SDCC 2013, they revealed the Alien set. And even more to cement that it was going to play in that Star Wars space of Kenner, the Alien set was revealed and released early with that Alien, you know, early bird certificate box set, homaging the Star Wars early bird certificate box set that came out all those years ago. There's a whole story with what that is. I'll leave it to the Star Wars YouTubers to explain it way better than me, but long story short, they weren't able to get the toys out early. They wanted to have something for the Christmas season. You could buy an empty cardboard box that was a display for the first 12 Star Wars toys from Kenner 1979, and they'd promise you, if you bought this box with this cool display, you'd get all 12 figures guaranteed in the mail later on. So they did something like that with Aliens, again, cementing the Star Wars Kenner connection. And after the success of that, you know, Super 7 and Reaction would continue to do more of that. They do it with tons of Hollywood movies, big Hollywood movies that they would love to have those 3-inch, 5-point of articulation figures. And afterwards, they started looking at other 80s toy properties that were really iconic and give them that, you know, 5-point of articulation, 3 1/4 Kenner Star Wars style kind of thing going on. They just wanted to have a whole bunch of different toys that could play within that Star Wars Kenner playstyle. And everything has always been homages to that. Just Kenner this, Kenner that. You know, it's always been like that. And last year, in 2023, they did the Super 7 Czarface playset. And that was a direct homage to the classic 1979 Star Wars Kenner, see a trend here, Land of the Jawas playset, which back then, simple piece of plastic that kind of replicated Tatooine's desert landscape with a cardboard backdrop of the Sandcrawler. And then you just kind of played with your Star Wars figures with that backdrop, and that was that. Cardboard playsets were always a thing at one point, especially in the late 70s, early 80s, before the big crazy stuff that we got used to later on with USS Flags and Ninja Turtle playsets and, dare I say, Fortress Maximus. And the Czarface one was released in 2 different versions. And no doubt, Super 7 being Super 7, never wanting to waste any molds or repaint opportunities like they always do with all their product, they probably looked at Transformers as the next place to use this. And that's where we have today the ARC Playset 1. Again, homaging all the way back to those old Star Wars days. So you have the same thing going on arc background, the desert landscape of, dare I want to say, Arizona, you know. But that's it, more or less, you know, not much really I could say. There again, I don't agree, you know, with the price. I mean, $75 for a piece of plastic and cardboard, it is what it is. But, you know, that's how it always has been with Super 7. You know, there always have been trying to stay true to that message, and they didn't cop out per se in what they were intending to do. You get 2 reaction figures, Optimus and Megatron, reissues of the ones that they did from Wave 1, and then you get that Star Wars-esque flavored, homaging kind of playset, but now for your Transformer figures. And that's what Super 7 has always done. And I understand it's been 11 years since they've done this, and I guess the message that they've been trying to play across has been lost throughout the years because they've done so many other different things. But to be real, that's really how their entire MO has been. Super 7 Reaction is for your other brands to play with Kenner Star Wars 79 figures. Super 7 Super Shoguns is for your other brands to play with Jumbo Shogun Warrior figures. Super 7 Keshi and their Muscle brand, which they even had the trademark for a bit, is so that you could play with other Keshi style and obviously your 80s Muscles figures, which again, they had the trademark for, and they even did packaging styled like the old Muscles, and they even had the the blister packs and the blind packs and the trash cans. You know, they always kept keeping to that. Heck, they even did the Super 7 Super Retro mask collection to make those old school styled 70s and 80s Halloween masks, but again, of all these other brands that didn't get that. So it's always about going back and having product that feels like it lived in that environment. I don't know what people were expecting. Were they expecting some crazy, you know, $500, $1,000, you know, ARC playset? I don't know what they were expecting, but if they would have looked at what Super 7's been doing up to this point, it's always been kind of throwing back, you know? And I've said Super 7's biggest weakness has always been their pricing. It's always been. They're a smaller company. Their prices have always been a little rough on our wallets. And I've seen some people say that, you know, maybe Super 7 charges more because 100% of their market that they're selling to is not kids, but guys who grew up in the late 70s and early 80s and are now in their 40s to, dare I say, their 60s, and they have extra money to pay for these figures. And they could sell us this figure for $15, but they'll sell it for $25 or $30 because they can. So I get that. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, protect Super 7 and stand up for them, but they've made a lot of great product, and they made a lot of great product that is risky, in my opinion. They were the first guys to bring back Street Shark stuff. They were the guys that were making all kinds of weird ideas and weird homages and weird things that really is risky for a small company to do, but they really are fans at the end. But again, to play a devil's advocate, I've never been a fan of their prices, and that's always been my biggest issue with them and why it's gate kept me from buying more of their products. But I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a Thrilla Gorilla action figure, and I never thought that would happen in the 40 plus years that that's been around. So I can understand people's argument, I can understand the drama, but at the same time, they got to understand what Super 7's initiative is, what is their mission statement, and what they did here with this Transformer one. I'll be honest, it's no surprise. It's exactly what they've been trying to do since the beginning. Make Kenner Star Wars Transformer figures. Now they're making Kenner Star Wars Transformer figures playsets. So if anything, they knocked it out of the park. I think this thing's cool. I actually would like to own it, but not at $75. This is a $25 item any day of the week. You know it, I know it, anyone else knows it. And I'll wait for this when it probably goes on sale at some point because this will be up for pre-order at Walmart Collector Con on October 17th on Transformer Thursday this week. So we'll see what happens. $75? I don't think so, though. Now let's get into some positive news. All Japan Model and Hobby Show passed this weekend, 2024. And we got some better photos and upcoming images and looks of the new Transformers Missing Link C05 Sunstreaker. So now we know indeed that he does come with some extra stuff outside of those first images we saw before. He's going to come with some chrome missiles that are going to be on a sprue. He's going to come with an extra pair of hands that are more like his fist missiles, because they were actually spring-loaded fist missiles for both the chrome wrist missiles and, of course, the fist missiles that the original toy came with. It also looks like it's going to be swap-outable with some more modern articulated hands that'll come with him that could hold the gun and everything that he comes with, which didn't come with the original toy. So a lot of really nice stuff going on here. We got a nice shot of the alt mode, which is that Countach LP500. A beautiful robot mode that's nicely sculpted with plenty of new articulation that original 1984 toy did not have. Again, it's not much new that we've seen since the Tokyo Toy Show a few weeks ago, but it is some new angles, some better photos, and confirmation that we do get an extra pair of hands on top of the articulated ones, as well as 3 chrome missiles for the wrists. I love what Missing Link is doing here with Takara, and I want to see more of it, for sure. For sure. We have no release date yet, according to the little display placard at the show. We don't have a release date. We don't have a price, but we'll keep you posted here on the Transformer Slag podcast as that progresses. And the last thing we're going to cover is Flame Toys on their socials revealed some really exciting stuff. Their next Furai model, and if you're a Beast Wars fan, this is a hype one, Furai model Beast Wars Megatron, looking really, really, really good. I love that because of the modular nature of model kits, and the way that a lot of Beast Wars toys really had a lot of beast pieces hanging off of the body and kibble. It looks like you're able to, achieve a pre-Earth designed Beast Wars Megatron, kind of without all his dino pieces on, and then you could attach them on afterwards to kind of have something that looks like a stylized version of how he looked in season 1 in the show. Kind of similar to what the Masterpiece did many years ago, but I think this looks really good. It's a really cool stylized version. This is like a pre-order day one thing. Again, I was showing my non-Transformer fans who love model kits from the Gunpla world, and they're loving all of this stuff. And a lot of them did grow up with Beast Wars, and that's kind of their only major connection with Transformers. And they're loving this, and they're excited about it. I'm excited about it. All we have here in terms of information is it's going to be 17 centimeters tall. It's going to have more than 50 points of articulation and all those little extra pieces to make both that pre-Earth mode and the actual Season 1 Beast mode robot mode. No Beast mode, no transformation with these. Looking really good. We don't have a price yet. We don't have a release date yet, but stay tuned for that here on the Transformer Slag podcast, and we'll keep you educated, entertained, and informed like we always do. Thank you again for listening. It's been a busy Monday already thus far, and hopefully things look up because we got a Transformer Thursday coming and many other reveals and, dare I say, unboxings in the near future. Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.